Welcome back. Now, medical negligence and malpractice claims are skyrocketing in South Africa. This is not only in our country, though. The issue is also a global one. Recent figures show a 23% increase in medico-legal claims in the public sector since 2014. According to senior law lecturer Larisse Prinsen from the University of the Free State, one reason could be that the medical and technological advances are increasing life expectancy. She joins me now to speak to us and tell us more. Larissa, thank you very much for your time here on All Angles. Now, when you say 23%, how much money does this amount to?
This is billions and billions of rands. This is about, I think the last figures were about almost 6-7 billion rand that's been spent on medico-legal claims.
Yeah, and this is worldwide. Is this a figure worldwide, or is this something we're looking at only in this country?
No, this is definitely a worldwide issue. It's something that we're seeing across the globe. It's something that we're seeing across Africa, but especially in South Africa over the last 2 decades, it's really skyrocketed.
And now, tell me a little bit about, what kind of cases you're seeing increasing. You know, we can say medical negligence or malpractice, etc. But are you seeing cases like, for instance, in Gauteng, we know that most of the medical legal claims that are heard all the way to the Constitutional Court are children suffering from cerebral palsy because of, negligence during birth. So what kind of medical negligence cases are you seeing on the increase?
Like you said, cerebral palsy-related instances are definitely the majority of the claims that are being instituted, so that's about more than half of the claims. But then there are also instances where there is misdiagnosis and delayed treatment. We also see a lot of claims because of stillbirth. So it's a mixed batch of reasons for these claims being instituted, but definitely cerebral palsy is one of the majority of the causes for these claims.
So what is causing the rise in such cases? I mean, you say worldwide. We all know that, for instance, in South Africa, we don't have quality access or equal access to quality health care, especially when you look at the public sector. But what is this? You're talking about technology not advancing or advancing to increase life expectancy. What else are you seeing as the problem here?
Well, the increase in medical technology has contributed in the value of the claims, because when you look at damages and determining damages for these claims, you have to take into account future medical costs and future life expectancy. So when medical technology improves, life expectancy improves, which then raises the value of the claims. But when we're looking at the reasons for the claims, there's no single identifiable cause. It's a combination of poor medical service. So there are, unfortunately, individual cases of medical negligence, but also doctors can't perform at their peak when the environment does not allow for it, when they have to work in institutions that are understaffed, when these institutions do not have the proper equipment, or the equipment is old, broken, outdated. If medical supplies are not available, if you don't have medicine, you can't treat someone. Then, apart from the medical profession and all of its issues, then there's also the legal profession, which is contributing to the issue, in that persons who traditionally worked on road accident fund claims have now started doing different types of personal injury law. So more attention in the legal field is being given to this. There's also the Contingency Fee Act, which has, because it's got a no win, no fee tenor to it, a lot of people are pursuing litigation who normally would not be able to afford litigation. We're also looking at the fact that the complaint system is lacking. So immediately, if something goes wrong, people feel that they do not have an avenue for recourse other than it. And all of these have, and these are just a few things. I mean, there's a move to a more patient-centered approach where patients are more aware of their rights and are less willing to tolerate mistakes in the medical field. And all of this has contributed to this massive skyrocketing rise, this boom industry of medical negligence claims.
All right, so now just tell me something, Larissa. What would be the solution? Our government, and you know this already, thinks that the solution might be a universal health care, which a lot of people are disagreeing to because of how the public health sector is in tatters already, especially in provinces such as Gauteng and the Eastern Cape, etc. So what would you say is the solution? Not that I'm trying to, get lawyers out of their jobs who fight for these individuals, but it would be much better if we have less children being born disabled when they could have actually been normal.
Well, the Department of Health has already drafted and has already started looking at this. All we need now is for them to actually start implementing their own policies. For example, they have strategic planning and they have human resources strategies and policies. If they would start implementing these, that could already start addressing understaffing, which if you have more doctors and you have more nurses, then that would already make a difference. So all those regulations and policies could be implemented or better implemented. We would have to start really looking at the resources of how we're spending our health resources to try and improve medical facilities. The training that doctors receive in the country is good. It's very, very good. But perhaps to give student doctors a bit more information on how to try and avoid this process, we could work on the complaints system to try and then rather, I don't want to say funnel, but to rather direct complaints to an authority that can deal with it appropriately. The method in which payments are being made can change. So rather than have one lump sum payment, we could have structured payments, we could have payments in kind. So there are various possible solutions to the issue. But it's always, and I've found this quite often, that there's a massive divide in theory and practice. It's one thing to have an idea, but it needs to be properly implemented by the correct authorities.
Well, thank you so much for speaking to us about this. It's been a thorn on South Africa's side for years now. That was Larisse Prinsen. She's a public law lecturer at the University of the Free State.